Hello, gentlemen. How's it going today?
Good. How are you, Bonnie? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. First off, I want to thank you for this film because it reminded me so much of, and I'm sure you too, of course, but the throwbacks to the Raiders of the Lost Ark kind of films. You know what I mean? So much fun. Nobody takes themselves seriously yet. They just are having such a good time. So, Adam, let's just start with you. I mean, how did this all kind of evolve? And
Well,
where did the idea come from?
yeah, you're speaking to our minds. I mean, like we were in October 2020, we were looking at projects that were very reflective of the moment, and the moment was a global pandemic and like political divisiveness. And this script came along and we read it, and it was just like this light went on of like, not only is this a movie that I want to make, this is the kind of movie I want to see right now.
Yeah.
This is what I'm longing for. And we grew up on the movies like Raiders and Romancing the Stone. And our way in was like, how do we make this that sort of cinematic escapism that we love and grew up on? Because we've never been in a moment more in need of like just a break. Like, so people can go to the movies and have 2 hours off and just laugh and have fun. And that's really what kind of like hooked us in the beginning.
Yeah, and then the two of you, you take this on together. So, Aaron, first of all, how do you divide up directing duties? Which brother has the upper hand?
That's a
It changes all the time.
it's difficult to explain how we divide things up because it's
Right.
largely an unconscious process.
Right.
We've been I've known Adam since he was born, and and so we're very familiar with each other, and we also become very familiar with each other's points of view on a given project, in part because we treat the scripting stage as a time not only to be developing the script, but to be developing our understanding of each other's vision. And by the time we get to set, we really understand what one another's intention is behind a given line, a given moment, because we're so involved in preparing it.
Right. Yeah, well, it works. So keep up the good work. Just keep
Thank you.
doing more stuff together. Okay, talk about hitting the jackpot with this cast. I mean, hello. Okay, let's just start with everybody's favorite, Sandra Bullock. I mean, come on. And the thing about her, and I love her, I've interviewed her so many times. She is who she is. What you see is what you get, and there's nothing that she will not do for a
Yeah.
laugh, for a cry, for whatever. I mean, Adam, seriously, were you guys pinching yourself with her?
Absolutely. I mean, we're spoiled for life with this cast, but like Sandy, namely, like I think what gives her this timelessness where she is able, like, to be able to be the level of movie star she is, and she's never wavered like that for an entire career. She has maintained this A-list status. I think a huge part of it is because she is not afraid to make fun of herself and to look silly. Like, she's a beautiful sex symbol, but she's not afraid to look silly and bring that physical comedy that she's so good at. It was definitely, I think it was in the first day or two, Aaron and I were on set, and you're like shooting these takes with her, and you just are going like, oh my God, I get it. Like, I get why she is who she is. It's just magic. She just is like, she's just on. It's really special.
I would all.
Whose idea? I just wanted to know whose idea was that purple jumpsuit, because that needs to go into the Smithsonian, I think.
So having a sequin jumpsuit was Sandy all the way. She has a thing for jumpsuits and sequins,
Okay.
and we've wholly embraced that because there's not much better way to constantly remind the audience that this person does not belong on this adventure than to see them in a jumpsuit that not only is flashing and shining all the time, but it's literally the opposite color of the environment around her.
Exactly. And, again, you cannot buy chemistry between your two leads. And who doesn't get along with Channing Tatum? Another great guy, no problem. But what was it like when you put them together on that set and magic happens?
When we first met all together, when we were interested in Channing for the role and we all met with Sandy and Channing, it was this immediate thing, their banter and the way they talk, that Aaron and I felt this comfort of like, oh, the movie's going to work, because you just don't know. And then you put those two people together and you're like, oh, this is perfect. It has to be Channing. And it's like they have this, they really didn't know each other before the movie, but they have this relationship that like is so like, it just feels like it has so much history. They're just immediately like best friends and like silly and like it's one of those things that you just kind of like can't really articulate, other than it's a magical gift to have as a director.
Yeah, and I always love seeing, Brad Pitt take on these silly, crazy roles, because I look, he's Brad Pitt, come on, but he's so good. And Daniel Radcliffe as the bad guy, kudos.
Daniel,
seriously.
Yeah, putting Daniel in this movie was actually one of the casting pieces that I was most excited about, because I knew from seeing some of the explorations that he was doing post Harry Potter that he's a really interesting guy, interested in doing interesting things. But I was super excited for a wider audience to see how much range there is to him. And so it was one thing to see and know that he's really talented, but then once he was on set and we saw he's not only really talented, he's a great person. He takes his role so seriously. He's so respectful to the crew and everybody around him. And there's not the least bit of him ever phoning something in. Like, he is there and invested and cares about it.
Yeah, and what's interesting about him too, I mean, listen, I started interviewing him since the very first Harry Potter film. So I've watched him grow up. I interviewed him from every single one. And at the end of the whole thing, I was like, oh, we were both almost in tears, because I felt like, oh, I'm never going to see you again or whatever, But I felt like my son was going out to the world. But what's interesting about him, and even the co-stars on that film, I find that they don't have an attitude. They're humbled, because I think it's the way they are raised, and also because they were in London. Do you agree? Like, they don't have that Hollywood kid thing, entitlement?
Absolutely. And, it feels like if anybody would have it, it would be somebody who's part of the biggest franchise ever and leading that. But he's so humble and respectful to everybody around him. It's very impressive.
Yeah, it is. Like I said, this whole cast, I mean, you guys really did hit the jackpot, and it's so much fun. So I just wrap it up, but I want to know, Adam, I'm going to ask you. So there's this new game show on TV right now. It's like celebrities go into the jungle and they tackle the jungle to raise money for their charities. Somehow I'm watching this every week because I think it's fun. Do you guys think that you would be able to? So Adam, you start.
Absolutely. Look, Aaron and I grew up in Florida. We camped a month out of every year. We would canoe 7 hours down this river called the Peace River. We weren't, the first couple of years, we weren't allowed to bring a pillow. It was rustic. I think Aaron and I are especially suited to be able to survive in the jungle. Maybe we've gotten a little bit soft in our old age, but I think that we could do it. I think get pushed into the moment, we could do it.
Okay, I want to see you on that show, 100%. So what's next? Do you guys have another project together, working on something? Aaron?
Yeah, we're working on Masters of the Universe right now for Netflix.
How did I not know that? I'd say that's pretty amazing. Masters of the Universe. Oh my God, my kids grew up with that. How exciting is that? I mean, where do you even start?
It like with Lost City, we feel really privileged that we're getting to do these projects that are tapping right into the stuff that was so formative for us. It feels like these are the types of stories that we learned storytelling with. Playing with those toys was like the original role-playing experience.
Yes.
Where we're making characters up and we're making up scenarios for them. And so to now act it out live action is such a privilege.
Oh my God. Well, best of luck with that. I cannot wait to see how you guys put that together. I'm very excited. Hopefully we'll be talking to you for that. But congratulations on The Lost City. You did such a great job, and people can now enjoy it in their homes and everywhere. And it's fantastic. So thank you for your time today, and have a great weekend, guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay. Very nice. Take care.